42. The great sage diligently calls at South Sea. Guanyin with compassion binds the red boy. We were telling you about those 6 mighty commanders, who walked out of the cave entrance and followed the road directly toward the southwest. Pilgrim thought to himself, "They wanted to extend an invitation for the venerable old king to eat my master, and that venerable old king has to be the bull demon king. Since Old Monkey met him that year, our friendship was a deep one, as ours were the most congenial spirits and sentiments. Now I have returned to the path of rectitude. Though he's still a perverse demon, I can remember his looks despite our lengthy separation. Let Old Monkey transform himself into the Bull Monster King and see if they could be deceived. Dear Pilgrim." He slipped away from those 6 little fiends. Spreading his wings, he flew to a distance of some 10 miles ahead. With one shake of his body, he changed into the form of Bull Monster King and, pulling off several strands of hair, he cried, "Change." They changed into several little fiends who were mounting falcons, leading hounds, and brandishing bows and arrows as if they were hunting in the fold of the mountain. There they waited for the 6 mighty commanders. As that motley crew shuffled along, they suddenly saw the Bull Monster King seated before them. So startled were Burly Hurly and Hurly Burly that they fell to their knees at once, crying, "Venerable Great King is here." Since cloud and fog, fog and cloud, quick as fire, and swift as wind were all of fleshly eyes and mortal stock, how could they possibly distinguish between the true and the false? They all knelt down also and kowtowed, saying, "Father, these little ones have been sent by the great King Holy Child from the fiery cloud cave. We are here to invite Father Venerable Great King to dine on the flesh of the Tang monk, so that your age will be lengthened 1,000-fold. Children," rejoined Pilgrim, "get up. Follow me home. I'll go with you after I've changed my clothes." Kowtowing again, the little fiends said, "We beg our father not to stand on ceremony. There's no need to return to your residence. The distance is great, and we fear that our great king will chide us for our delay. We beseech you to begin your journey at once." Laughing, Pilgrim said, "What nice children you are. All right, all right. Clear the way, and I'll go with you." The 6 fiends roused their spirits and shouted to clear the way, while the great sage followed them. In no time at all, they returned to their own place. Swift as wind and quick as fire dashed into the cave, crying, "Great King, Father Venerable Great King has arrived." Delighted, the Monster King said, "All of you are quite useful. You've returned so quickly." He at once gave the order for all his captains to arrange their troops and to unfurl the flags and drums to receive the Venerable Great King. The fiends of the entire cave all obeyed this command, and they formed an orderly formation all the way out to the entrance. Shaking his body once to retrieve his hares, who were leading dogs and falcons, Pilgrim with chest thrust forward walked loftily inside in big strides. After he took a seat in the middle facing south, Red Boy faced him and knelt down to kowtow to him. "Father King," he said, "your child gives you obeisance." Pilgrim said, "My child is exempted from such ceremonies." Only after he had prostrated himself for times did the Monster King rise from the ground and stand below the seat of Pilgrim. "My child," said Pilgrim, "why did you ask me to come here?" Bowing again, the Monster King said, "Though your child is not talented, he has managed to capture a certain person yesterday, a monk from the Great Tang in the land of the East. I have often heard people say that he is someone who has practiced self-cultivation for 10 incarnations. If anyone eats a piece of his flesh, this person will enjoy the same age as an immortal from Penglai or Yingzhou. Your foolish boy does not dare eat the Tang monk by himself. That is why I have invited Father King, especially to enjoy with me the flesh of the Tang monk, so that your age may be lengthened 1,000-fold." When Pilgrim heard these words, he shuddered and said, "My child, which Tang monk is this?" "The one journeying to the western heaven to acquire scriptures," said the Monster King. "My child," said Pilgrim, Is he the master of Pilgrim Sun? Indeed, said the Monster King. Waving his hand and shaking his head, Pilgrim said, Don't provoke him. You can provoke others, but you don't know what sort of person that Pilgrim Sun happens to be. My worthy boy, you haven't met him, I suppose. That monkey has vast magic powers and knows many ways of transformation. Once when he caused great disturbance in the heavenly palace, the great Jade Emperor sent against him 100,000 celestial soldiers, but they did not succeed in capturing him even after they had set up the cosmic nets. How dare you want to eat his master? Quickly, send him back to his disciple, and don't provoke that monkey. If he finds out that you have eaten his master, he need not come to fight with you. All he has to do is use that golden hooped rod of his to drill a hole halfway into the mountain, and he will shovel it right out of its roots. My child, where will you find shelter then? Who will take care of me when I grow old? Father King, said the Monster King. What are you saying? You are magnifying the powers of others to belittle the abilities of your son. Though that Pilgrim Sun and his two brothers, altogether 3 of them, attempted to lead the Tang monk to cross our mountain, they permitted me to use a transformation to abduct their master back here. Afterwards, he and Ju 8 Rules searched their way to our door, and he then made some such foolish claim that he was a kin of ours. I grew angry and fought with him, though the several rounds we went through did not indicate that he was such a hot shot. Ju 8 Rules stepped in from the side to join the fray, and that was when your child spat out his true fire of Samadhi and defeated them all at once. They were so frightened, in fact, that they went to ask the Dragon Kings of the 4 oceans to assist them with rain, but the rainwater, of course, could not extinguish my true fire of Samadhi. Pilgrim Sun was so severely burned this time that he went into a little coma. Then he told Ju 8 Rules to seek help from the Bodhisattva Guanyin of the South Sea. I changed into a specious Guanyin and tricked 8 Rules back here. He's now hung in our compliant bag, waiting to be steamed and fed to the little ones. This morning, that pilgrim returned to our door to make noises once more. When I gave the order to seize him, he was so frightened that he even abandoned a wrap of his and fled. It was then that I decided to invite Father King to come here, so that you can see him live before he is steamed for food. My hope is for your age to lengthen, so that you will enjoy long life without ever growing old. Chuckling, Pilgrim said, My worthy boy, you know only that you can overpower him with your true fire of Samadhi. You don't know that he knows 72 ways of transformation. He can change into whatever he wants to, said the Monster King. But I can still recognize him. I don't think he dares enter our door. My child, said Pilgrim. You may recognize him when he changes into something big, and that will be difficult indeed for him to get inside your door. But if he changes into something small, it will be difficult for you to recognize him. Let him, said the Monster King. Every door of mine here has 4 or 5 little fiends standing guard over it. How could he possibly enter? Pilgrim said. So you don't know about this? He is able to change into a fly, a mosquito, a flea, or a bee, a butterfly, a mole cricket, or some such creature. He can even change into a form like me. How could you possibly recognize him? Don't worry, said the Monster King. Even if he had a gall of iron and a heart of bronze, he wouldn't dare approach my door. According to what you have told me, my worthy boy, said Pilgrim, you certainly are more than able to withstand him, and this explains why you are eager to invite me to come and dine on the Tang monk's flesh. Unfortunately, however, I can't eat it today. Why not? Asked the Monster King. Pilgrim said, I'm feeling my age these days, and your mother often tells me to do some good deeds. There's not much I can do, I thought, but I have decided to keep a vegetarian diet. The Monster King said, Is Father King keeping a permanent one or a monthly diet? Neither, said Pilgrim. But mine is called a Thunder Vegetarian Diet, and I keep it for only 4 days in a month. Which 4? Asked the Monster King. Pilgrim said, During those 3 days, when the celestial stem Xing appears in the sexagesimal representations, and during the 6th day of the month. Today happens to be the day of Xingyo. I should maintain a vegetarian diet in the first place, and in the second place, a Yu day means that I myself should not meet any guests. Therefore, let's wait until tomorrow. I'll personally see to it that the Tang monk is scrubbed clean to be steamed and enjoyed along with all of you." When the Monster King heard these words, he thought to himself, "My father king has always fed on humans. That's been his livelihood, in fact, for over 1,000 years. How is it that he has taken up a vegetarian diet now? He has, after all, committed many evil acts. How could 3 or 4 days of vegetarian diet atone for them? His words make no sense. Something's fishy." He turned at once and walked out the second door, calling together the 6 mighty commanders to ask them, "Where did you find the venerable great king?" The little fiends said, "On our way." "I remarked that you all returned so quickly," said the Monster King. "Didn't you reach his house?" "No," said the little fiends. "We did not." "That's bad," said the Monster King. "We have been deceived by him. This is no venerable great king."